This is gonna be like my God of War 20 Ragnarok talk slash review kind of. I'm gonna do like another spoiler review like in the future, but yeah, so far this game is amazing. It's incredible. Like it's automatically gonna go in my top 5 because this game is everything. God of War 2018 was what much bigger, larger, longer, much longer, much longer with more content, and like it shares the same. Overall the combat like is similar, with the exception like of a few changes like in the runic attacks and the main attacks, the comboing, the upgrade trees a little bit different. But yeah, I'm gonna go over certain things, a non-spoiler. So I'm gonna try and keep this non-spoiler. So yeah, like, share, subscribe, guys. I share the video all over, please. And if you guys have any PS5 recommendations, let me know down below. But yeah, God of War Ragnarok, it's my most anticipated game of all time. I talked a lot about this, and right now, this is like I'm uploading content for this game non-stop. So it's gonna be gameplay like in this game non-stop. So yeah, I look out for that. So I got God of War Ragnarok. What I love about it, the content, the amount of content. You got the main missions, and the main missions, are from the previous game. Very, it is very story oriented, very linear. However, you can go different paths. There's great dialogue, lots of lore. Lore. I know lore is sometimes I say lore, it sounds like Lord, but Lore. Lots of lore in this world, and this is kind of like a Norse mythology world. So you have lots of the character interactions are amazing, 10 out of 10. Voice acting 10 out of 10. The visuals is 10 out of 10. This is like it looks, it's because it's on PS5, the frame rate is a lot better. And the sharpness, the lighting looks very good. This is a very bright game. You can see the overall lighting, like the a reflection like from the sunlight and everything looks very realistic, extremely realistic. And with the amount of landscapes you go to, it's large. There's tons of landscapes. And with the 2018 game, there was they restricted you. You couldn't see all 9 realms, but this time you can. So the visuals, so you get to visually see how big every realm. So like in God of War Ragnarok, you're going from different realms in the Norse mythology, and some realms more swamp areas, some other realms more lake areas, more mountain top areas. And with this game, there is Fimbulwinter, so there is this massive winter that has kind of sprawled throughout like certain realms. For example, Midgard, which is Earth. From the last game, it was summer weather. No, it's all winter. It's all winter, and the lake is ice. It's frozen ice. So yeah, lots of detail there in the environment, tons of detail. And overall, like I said before, like with content, what I really love about it, what this game does very special, just like the last game, is the fact that both games, and when you play the game, I can't wait to see what happens next. When I play the game, it's like I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next. What's the dialogue? What lore are they gonna go over next? What are we gonna see next? What big massive creature are we gonna see next? And there's tons of that here. But yeah, like it really keeps you immersed. It almost feels like similar to the Red Dead Redemption 2. It feels like in a weird way, like I consciously live this experience, But like when I play this game, I feel so a part of this world, and that's its strongest. That's really like its strongest, benefit or advantage that this game has over a lot of other games. But yeah, just the immersion, how connected you feel to the overall world, the characters, the interactions, and yeah. But yeah, it's amazing. It's really amazing. So more of the content. There's a lot more enemy variety in this one. A lot more enemy variety. I felt like I'm kind of disappointed like in the last game, because looking back, the 2018 game amazing, but one thing it did was it did lack certain boss battles. A boss variety. And this one, we're right back onto the boss variety. Tons of different bosses. I'm 35 hours in so far. I fought at least 17 bosses, 20 bosses or so. Main bosses, mini bosses, but yeah, and some of the bosses, they are optional. But there are certain things though, like where some bosses I will give you more powerful loot, depending on the difficulty level. or every enemy has a certain level associated with them, like level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and yeah. So, and let's talk about overall difficulty. Difficulty, I played on the second hardest difficulty, No Mercy. So No Mercy is, I'll give you balance, which is medium. There's balance difficulty, medium. No Mercy, which is hard, and then you have the God of War mode, which is extremely hard, insane. So like I played like on the second hardest difficulty. So on the second hardest difficulty, it's gonna start out very easy. It started out very easy for me. This feels easier than the previous game at the start, but eventually though, once you guys get like, it may seem easy, but once you get to the bosses, it gets harder. It gets much harder. Are you gonna die a lot? I died a lot of times. I'm gonna, I put on YouTube some of my fail counters, like with some of the bosses. I died a lot of times. It's a lot. It's like, it's not easy. It's not easy like a No Mercy, but yeah. But it starts out easy because they want to get the story going. But yeah, I'm gonna try it again on a balanced difficulty or a God of War to see how the difficulty compares. But yeah, this one also too, there is more puzzles. I feel like there is a lot more puzzles in God of War. For those of you that know the franchise, some people only think that God of War started in 2018. No. There's a whole 6 games before the 2018 game. And God of War isn't without its puzzles. Tons of puzzles in this one. Tons. From, deflect type puzzles, from water flow type puzzles, and to crisscross type puzzles. Yeah, many different types of puzzles. And you have to really look around in the environment and understand what the game is giving you. There will be certain tips like on the screen, the right side like of the screen, telling you, okay, use the axe for this or use the blades for this type of thing. And there's one a puzzle that was very hard. Yeah, you have this, there's this arrow or whatever that you have to get your companion to shoot, and the arrow, depending, the arrow, this arrow stacks up elemental damage, ice damage, fire damage. So you have to kind of connect it. There's like a chain. There's a chain of damage, so you have to chain this damage together. But it's kind of confusing how the game explained it. You have to, but anyways, if you guys play, you'll know. But there is a very annoying pink arrows. But yeah, lots of puzzles, more puzzles here. I would say some puzzles are annoying. That's one con. The puzzles can get annoying over time. But if you understand, you just have to understand what the game is giving you and how you connect your previous experiences with where you are now, like in the present. Look around as much as possible, like in the environment. Like, just look around. There are other things too, like I said before, lots of lore, and going like into story a little bit now. Like the story, the story, like it's longer. It's a lot longer than the previous game. That game felt very grounded. This game is very expansive, very massive, large. And I don't listen to anybody saying that this is a DLC. They're crazy. This is, you're talking about a 25-hour plus story, and plus 20, like another 15 hours in terms of side missions. But yeah, there's lots in the story, lots of dialogue. You meet a lot more characters in this one. The last game, I had a feeling that they did play it safe. They played it safe with the story. Very grounded. It's a very grounded take on the story, father and son type relationship, and the story mostly focuses on them. This time, it's more about the realms and the bigger picture. But still, you guys are still kind of the main focus. But yeah, the story larger, bigger, longer. However, I'm gonna go into a con now. A con is that the story. What I didn't like about the story is the fact that it went on. There are parts where it went on too long. Yeah, so like with the overall, there's a problem like with the pacing in the game. About 4 hours into the game, there's gonna be like a little change in the story. I'm not gonna give away like any big spoilers, but yeah, there's a change on the story where you go to this one section, a sequence. And this sequence kind of goes on too long, I feel, and it drags on very long. It's like, can we get to the point? And yeah, but it's not your typical sequence. This sequence is different. It is different than what we had in the previous 2018 game and the first 4 hours of this game. But yeah, it drags on a little bit too long, and there's multiple sequences like this sequence There's like 4 to 5 sequences, which I kind of, the pacing of the story, and as a result of this sequence, you kind of lose track. I lost track of what's the main objective of the what's the main goals so you kind of lose track of what you're actually doing like in the story. But yeah, man, but aside from the pacing issues, and a couple other flaws that I mention after, and there are other parts too, like with the story. With the another con I believe is the character I designed for some of the gods. I don't really like the character I designs. I would have went for example, again, spoilers, right? Odin is in this game. Odin doesn't really look the part of this all father. I may be like I'm wrong. I may be like this is just like a slight nitpick. But yeah, I would have had him with more armor, make him look more menacing. Thor as well. Thor, I know there's there are controversy about his design, the Fat Thor design, which are copying from Marvel, obviously. But I would have liked to see him more. That the gods are more menacing, and with higher stakes as well, like in the story, higher stakes, like with the god, and Asgard. So spoilers, you go to Asgard. Asgard could be bigger, so much bigger, like in terms of the the palace for Odin or whatever, the Allfather. It could be bigger. There's tons of concept arts out there, like of what Asgard could look like, and you saw it in the movies in the early 2010s Thor, at the very first Thor movie, like where it's so big. Asgard, the palaces are big, but here you don't really get that. You feel like Asgard feels like any other city. So some of the design choices for the gods, the the Aesir or whatever, it could have been better, much better in my opinion. But that's just me. But by the end of the game, like when the stakes get kind of higher and higher, and there is I can't say, but yeah, anyways, it does get better. But yeah, the character designs could have been better. Another thing about character designs, I'm kind of going on here. Kratos as well. I would have rather them give Kratos like a new look. I know, for the most part, most of the God of War games, Kratos carries on the same look. Well, a new look, whether it be, like he has a new look, like with the pelt, with the black pelt or whatever, the black bear or a raven pelt, but that's taken away from him the first 5 minutes like of the game. They should have gave him like a new look like in the gameplay, and as well, yeah, I don't know, just new looks overall. But yeah, it's still, but everything the game is so good. The game is able to overlap like a lot of those issues. So, but the main issue is the there are parts of the story that drag on for too long, and because of that, you kind of lose. I lost track of the sometimes I lost track of what is our main goal of the story. We're kind of going back and forth, and yeah, but yeah. So going back to some more things. Combat is just as smooth here as it was in the original game. Aside from the it plays very well, very strong. A light attacks, heavy attacks, runic attacks, special abilities. You have that a relic attack, which is like kind of like the side attack. It does like a certain buff, or you can actually freeze time like temporarily, like with this relic. But yeah, the relic to the rage meter is back. The rage meter has been customized, so you can use the rage meter to get back health only. So I give you back like a burst of health, or you can do like this high damaging move, or you can do this is a regular rage. There's different options of the rage, and tons of upgrades, lots of upgrades here. Spoilers, so spoilers ahead. Spoilers, you get. So again, spoilers. You're getting one extra weapon, a spear. The spear is basically what it does is it does this explosive type damage. So it causes this mini explosion, and you can project like 7 spears at a time. So yeah, like it's mostly served as some sort of a projectile, but you can mix it up to be light, heavy, and a projectile kind of like the axe, and but yeah, similar feel to the previous game. Just certain things are changed, like runic attacks from the previous game. Some of them are now combo attacks, so they're no longer runic attacks. Now I will say another kind of runic attacks. This is something I don't really hear much about. Yeah, the runic attacks, when I play the game, There's no iframes on them, so the super attacks or whatever, you can take damage from them. While you're doing them. So iframes, for example, iframes protect you. They're like a shield. Whenever you are doing like a certain move, there is none of that here. You have to. It is best to not use runic attacks in like a boss battle because you are gonna take damage from them, and with most runic attacks, you are stationary. You're standing still. And this is a game you got to be dodging non-stop. Dodging, blocking, especially on a hard difficulty. Blocking, parrying, knowing the attacks, double tapping the shield button, right, to break certain attacks. But yeah, the runic attacks and the wireframes. But aside from that though, like, everything, the combat, very smooth here. But I felt like, maybe, like a slight nitpick, they could have innovated like a little bit more with the combat. But yeah, I felt like, from the previous game, what isn't broke, don't fix it or whatever, however that says go, the expression goes. But yeah. So again, we know the story, story, immersion, the pacing, the overall visuals, characters, voice actings, visual presentation. This game is beautiful. But its biggest, like I said before, the biggest strength of this game is the immersion, similar to the previous game. And it's everything the previous game was, but again, like I said, this is the main theme point. Bigger, grander scale, larger, longer, and much longer story. One more thing a little bit like about the gear system. The gear system, which I thought was a little... I hear a lot of complaints about it, which I agree. The gear system basically feels like a number of stats-based system. So like your typical RPG system. We're building up stats, right? Runic, health, luck, whatever there is. Again, I believe there's speed, stamina, so on. So yeah, and then a certain armor sets. It's like the game wants you to get certain armor sets, but others don't really matter as much. There's one armor set that looks very cool, but it doesn't really give you those good stats. And you don't really get the sense that you are building your own Kratos. You're just building what the game is kind of wants you to build. But yeah, overall though, it is easy to get armor sets as long as you do the side missions, gain up XP, what do you call hack silver, and then yeah. But yeah, overall, man, I swear, like, this game, another thing about it is super addicting, very addicting because of the immersion. But right now, like, I'm doing side missions. I just finished the story, so I'm uploading videos from last week. It takes me a little while to upload the uploading time or whatever on the PS5 variants. But yeah, I'm gonna be uploading more and more and more. Gameplay. Watch out for it. And again, leave down below any recommendations. So overall, a score here. I'm just gonna give my score 8.7 out of 10. 8.7 out of 10. If it wasn't for this pacing issues, I would have probably given this a 10 out of 10. But then again, I don't really like grading things based out of 10. But that's kind of the easiest way to kind of gauge it up. But yeah, this is gonna be my review. One day I'm gonna do a little spoiler review on this game, for those of you that know the story. So yeah, again, pros: immersion, gameplay, visuals, presentations, addicting, character development. I didn't even go over the themes, the main themes of the story. For example, destiny versus free will. But yeah, I'm gonna go over that like in a separate video. You have as well the exploration, side content, boss variety, and then the cons is probably the pacing, the no iframe attacks like on the runic attacks and the runic abilities, and the gear system. But yeah, like, share, subscribe, guys. Share the video all over. Thanks for watching.